Hey people, welcome to Thursday. It's another beautiful Thursday here in the studio. I am super excited for today. I think today is going to put another twist to all the CEOs that I know. I think I am fortunate to know all these CEOs, and I'm like, I need to start buying shares in these people businesses. This is what I need to do. But anyway, welcome to the conversation. My name is Edwin Meyer. Of course, I am the host. If you aren't following us, we are the conversation Outspoken Opinionated. We are on Facebook. Us the conversation Outspoken Opinionated also on YouTube. If you haven't heard, we are on Apple Podcasts, of course, the conversation Outspoken Opinionated. We are also on Spotify, the conversation Outspoken Opinionated. And then, of course, on Instagram, we are the Outspoken Opinionated podcast. But today is going to be an amazing conversation. I have someone who I have known for a while. It's funny because I was actually in his wedding. I've seen all his kids being born. So I think it's like we've been knowing each other for a very long time. He started this amazing line of, I would say, how I would call it? I would say first class soap for men. And I think for me, why I was like, oh my God, most often people don't. Everything is for women. Everything they have is for women. And then when you try to know what you're trying to do, like, oh, that's for girls. And this is so I'm so excited that somebody thought about us and now is making something for us. Well, he might have other things in the workings when it comes to the entire production and what they're doing. But I know it's MVSoaps, and I'm going to bring in the CEO, Mr. Akin Walker.
What's up? What's up? Hey, where's my theme music?
Oh, you want the music to come in? Okay, we will do that when we move in the studio. I told everybody, I said, once we move in the studio, I'm going to start asking people, okay, so when you coming into the broadcast, what would you like? And they will tell us the song, and we'll do them coming in and dancing and all that stuff. So season 4, I promise everybody have been asking, we are going to studio season 4. I think we're done with COVID. We can make it, and that's what we're going to do. Awesome. But welcome to the conversation, sir. It's good to have you.
Thank you for having me, EJ. I've been longing for this experience. I see you doing your thing. I'm like, oh man, but when would EJ reach out to me?
I mean, you could have come a long time ago. You could have been here, but you are here today, and so I'm excited that you are here today. How is the family? How is the wife and the boys doing?
Yeah, everybody's doing well. Can't complain. Micaiah, the oldest, he's 5. Bonin is 4. So we're in pre-K now.
Okay. So you're a busy dad. You're a busy dad. Yeah. But let the people know who you are. Tell the people who you are and what you do.
Yes, everybody. So my name is Akin Walker, CEO and founder of MVSoaps. I am also a technologist. I'm a sales executive for a consultancy. So I have a 9-to-5, but I'm building this brand, this business. I am ethnically Liberian and Sierra Leonean. And so I was raised here in the United States, emigrated here from Liberia because of the Civil War, and have lived in the DC metro area most of my life. And so, yeah, that's a little bit about me. Married a little over 7 years now, have 2 beautiful boys. We live in Frederick, Maryland. And we're just here. Yeah.
And it's funny, people. So let me tell you guys, the first time I met Akin, I thought Akin was from Ethiopia. And then he started to talk. I was like, he's like, bro, but he looks like he's Ethiopian. And it's funny because we know another person who is married to one of your relatives who also looks like she's from Ethiopia, and she's Liberian. So it's so funny how you guys are. She's married to your relative, but both of you guys can stand next to each other and be like, oh, they look like siblings straight from Ethiopia. But it's good to have you. We're so glad that you're here. We're so glad that you're going to share your product with us. I don't know if you have some of the products with you, but as we go, we will talk about it. But can you tell us about, you told us about yourself, but tell us about MVSoaps. What's the MV? Like, why MV? It's like MVP? Like,
yeah, no, great question. So MVSoaps is a luxury personal care brand that caters primarily to Black men. Right. Oh. And in your intro, you really kind of described the why behind MVSoaps, is because there's really not a lot of products that focus on men in general. Men are now, they want a lot more options. They're becoming more educated. They want to level up their self-care and their skincare, but there's just not a lot of options out there. And so that's why MVSoaps exists today. That's why I decided to create it. And that really stemmed from my own personal care journey where I wanted to start, using better products. And I realized that a lot of the products that were out there didn't really cater to my demographic,
Okay.
right? So for example, like I'll just throw a name out there, Dr. Squatch in terms of soap, right? A lot of people have seen the commercials and I've actually tried the product. Their products are nice and everything, but I just didn't really feel like it was a business that really represented what I am about, what I care about, right? So not just from a commercial, like an actual product perspective, but in terms of its values, right? And so MVSoaps is also a social business where we focus on mental health for Black men as well. So it's not just the product, but we donate our profits to the Confess Project, which is a nonprofit organization that focuses on mental health initiatives. But why you asked about MV, so let me get back to sorry, I went on a
that was very interesting. I have like a follow-up question. So
okay, great. Yeah. So MV stands for it's an acronym using my boys' names, Micaiah and Bonin.
Okay.
But later on, I realized that I could actually have a double meaning to it. And so it also stands for Men Validated. So that's what the MV stands for. So initially, legacy brand, I wanted to create a better future for my kids, right? And so I wanted to use their names, but then I also thought about it. I'm like, I think, I wanted to be more than just, I wanted to extend beyond myself and my family. And so it also stands for Men Validated.
So in your, when you were telling us about MVSoaps, you mentioned that you guys do support mental health and focus on men. And I know for me that's something that I champion. That's something we do here on our platform. We really, really, really push for Black men to deal with their mental health. Seek therapy, do this. So I will ask you, I don't know if it's too personal or just something that you like. Why did you decide to give back, but not only giving back, but then focusing on Black men and mental health?
Yeah, so I wanted to create a brand that focused on the whole man. So, not just the product, right? But also thought about, what's important, what's necessary for Black men, physically, mentally, spiritually, right? And I'd say spiritually is a little bit more nebulous, but really mentally, right? And this stemmed from things that I was going through personally. When I decided to start making some of these products, it started in my kitchen for myself and for my family first, just kind of experimenting. At that time, I had a really a close childhood friend that had passed away. And this was a life of the party kind of guy, right? He was always laughing, always had a lot of jokes, like always a smile on his face. And when I learned about the circumstances around his death, because we had lost contact for a while, but it really impacted me to hear what he was going through, and he didn't share what he was going through with anybody. And I realized, this is a theme with us men. We don't share what's going on with us. We suffer in silence, right? I knew that for myself. I knew that for the men around me. We don't really talk. So I decided that I wanted to dedicate this business to that movement, right? And creating a platform and a community for Black men to feel safe and validated, right? Validated in who they are, that they can still be appreciated for who they are, irrespective of what they're going through, right? And also, like you said, advocating for those services and the resources that are going to help them to be their whole selves. So there's a hashtag that I created for this brand. It's called Show Up Fresh and Whole, right? So show up fresh with the soap, right? With the product, but also whole as a human being. And that's where therapy and other resources come in.
Wow, that's really amazing. And when you talk earlier about men, I like to focus on Black men. We don't talk about, and then for us who are extremely opinionated and extremely outspoken, when it comes to those personal things, we actually don't talk because people feel like, okay, you talk a lot, you all have an opinion, but when you're going through stuff, you still don't talk. And I think it's more of this cultural thing that Black men are supposed to be strong. You're not supposed to show your emotions, and when you do that, you're considered to be weak and all that stuff. But let's move on. So you have this amazing career, and tell us about your background, education, and your work experience that has given you I don't know if it's the inside or this opportunity. Because like I said earlier, I wanted a website. I was like, oh my God, it's so nice, clean. Like that's the kind of website I like clean. You can navigate it so easy. So tell us about your background, work, your education, or work experience that have set you up for folks.
Yeah, for sure. Great question. Man, my work experience, my background is really random. So I went to college on the Eastern Shore of Maryland. I double majored in business management and Spanish. And I had a minor in information systems. So very random background. My first job out of college was actually teaching English in Japan.
Okay.
So I was in Japan for a year, came back when, things started shaking. that big old earthquake.
I know, you're a black man. You can't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't just be shaking the movie on its own. Gotta go.
So came back to the States, and it's interesting. I actually wanted to become an accountant. That was my dream for whatever reason, and people were like, man, why would you try and become an accountant? Like, you are so good at talking with people and interacting with people. Not saying that accountants can't be that, but you're just, your vocation is just looking at spreadsheets primarily, right? But so when I was looking for an accounting job coming back from Japan, it was during the recession, couldn't find a job, and I got into sales. I got into tech sales. And so I've built a career in tech sales for nearly 10 years, right? And so one thing that's great about tech sales is that you're always problem solving.
Okay.
Right? And so I think that's driven my curiosity to solve problems and, create unique solutions, innovative solutions. But in terms of the skill set for me to do what I'm doing right now, man, I am building the plane while I'm flying it.
I hear you, sir. Because I think it's when you say that, I think a lot of us, like for me, I started this during quarantine.
Yeah.
And it's funny we talk about therapy. My name for this show came through therapy. So I was always considered to be the troublemaker. I always had a lot of questions. Why you always have questions? Why you always have questions? And so, and you talk too much. And so in therapy, those are one of the things I was telling my therapist. I'm like, you know what? I feel it's like I am a troublemaker and I talk too much and I always ask questions. She said, no, you are just outspoken opinionated.
Yeah.
You just have an opinion and you're outspoken. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. She said, yeah, and you like conversations. You love to like, and that's just me. I love to have conversation. I like to. So what's going on? Why are we doing this? And so, and that's how this name came up. So when you talk about mental health and all that stuff, for me, it's true therapy and true me finding me and dealing with my internal issues that I have mentally created this platform. Did I knew I was going to do this? I have to be my own IT, my own production man, my own everything. I'm like, they're just working out. It's working out.
And you're doing phenomenally, man.
It's just got to work out. I'm like, I don't care. I have somebody who do social media. I can, so I had to have somebody who will help me with it. But I think that's what we're doing, and we're just gonna do it.
Yeah, man. I want to give you your flowers, man, because I feel like you're doing something that's different. Especially as a Black man, and people they have the same reaction when they hear about what I'm doing, right? Is because it's outside of the mold. It's outside of the norm of what's expected. And so in your own way, as you're living out your truth and your purpose, you're changing the narrative.
Yeah.
And I just think that it's amazing that you're doing that. So I just wanted to say, commend you.
I appreciate it. Really appreciate it. But MVSoaps, I think I love the platform that you've given. I love what you said about MVSoap, the whole thing when it's related to men, wholeness, and everything. Yeah. But how long have MVSoap been in business?
A little over a year now.
So hold up. Go back. Little over a year. Your entire production is behind you.
Yes, I have some racks right here. With
that's what I'm saying. Like your entire production is behind you. Your website is amazing. Everything is going on great. So tell me, production-wise,
yes,
is that all you?
It's all me. It is all.
No, don't do that because I know my nephews be trying to make their own soap. Don't talk about it soon as you. I know them boys be like, Daddy, I can make my own. Like, why are you not letting me be a part of this?
I do. I let them help with the packaging from time to time.
Okay.
But the entire process. This is my baby, right? Like I told you, I started started formulating myself
Uh-huh.
in the kitchen, just trying to create products for myself. And hold on one second. These boys are a little bit loud. Let me just quickly text my wife just so that she can get them. Hold on.
People, this is what happens when you're live. This is what happens, okay? So when it's live, and remember, we're still in quarantine. We're not in quarantine, but we're still doing, we're still following procedures when it comes to COVID. So he's in his production studio, I'm in my production studios, and we're doing what we're supposed to do. And his employees are, there'll be a lot of morality, so you need to reach out to the assistant VP
Exactly.
employees to get in order. That's what's happening.
Chief operating officer. Right?
There you go.
Yeah, so sorry about that. But yeah, so so I started, just formulating in my kitchen. And then I had to realize, like, okay, I want to start this business. I realized I want to start the business, but I didn't want to start off with like trying to learn everything about actually running a soap business and making a lot of mistakes. I wanted to learn from other people's, mistakes. And so I actually signed up for a class where they taught you about like building out a brand, creating a strategy. So I did all of that work early, right? Like right after I registered the business, I went through all that to really build the foundation, have like a style guide and everything. What's the font that I'm going to use? Like, what's the mission statement? All that stuff. So I solidified that. And then from there, I tried to figure out, okay, how do I actually scale this, right? From a production perspective, because I only had these little molds for experimenting. I needed commercial size. And so now, I can create, 120 bars in one batch, right? With the molds that I have. And then also I wanted to make sure that I was bringing something to market that really met the needs of my customers, right? And so I did a lot of research. I also partnered with a cosmetic chemist, right?
Okay.
To create the formula and also get a lot of tips about how to scale this and bring it to production.
So that was going to go into my next I was going to ask you a follow-up question because I know that we have another friend, Carmina, who started her crew crown. And so
yep, I saw that.
You guys have to go into, you got to do some chemistry.
Yes.
What you guys, there's some chemistry involved. And so I was going to ask you, are there, what's your participation when it comes to mixing and doing formulas and stuff like that?
Yeah, so I mean, I have a set formula I've created for my collection. So it's not much variation there. I just wanted to make sure that I was realizing certain claims for my demographic. So one, I wanted for the bars to be nourishing. I wanted for them to be good at locking in moisture, right? I wanted for them to smell amazing, right? And so it was months of me working with the chemist to communicate those claims, right? And then identify, okay, what are the right oils and basically what's that right formulation. And so I'm using that recipe each time. It's kind of like I'm baking every single time I'm making soap. So I'm using that recipe. And but to be honest, as I scale and I want to get into other products, I want to be able to partner with other companies as well, right? Grow through that partnership as well, because it's just me right now, right? And so if I really want to be able to scale this and I want to bring new products to market, I need to be smart and strategic about how I do that.
So they have this thing, and I would say it's being that we are from West Africa, we are from Africa. They have this thing when it comes to the Liberian community where they say that, we don't like people to know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Everybody, shh. Yourself, because you want people to see your ideas. Sometimes people don't like competition and all that kind of stuff. But you have talked a lot about collaborating. Yes. And so I want to ask you, as you started, this is your child, this is your business. From a scale from 1 to 10, and 10 being the most, how free are you to collaborate? And I would say I'm going to be very specific with African vendors.
I am, but it just has to make sense. You know what I mean? I'm extremely open, to be honest with you, but it just has to make sense. So if it's going to be, for example, a supplier, I want to know what they're doing, like what's their process for getting those raw materials and maybe refining materials or whatever, right? I want to know what their process is. I want to make sure values align as well, right? So even though we're African, that's great. like we can hit it off in that regard. But like, are you on board with the mission and what we're doing as well, right? Can we vibe in that regard? So those are the things. So I'm absolutely open. Honestly, I think that maybe I over rotate on wanting to partner more than I should, to be honest with you, right? But I'm also very strict in who I want to work with.
Amazing.
Yes.
And so I like that because I know there are a lot of other black people. There are a lot of other black businesses. I know there is this guy, actually, he's in the area where I live in, and he does something similar like this, and it's focused on black men. And so, we are at that. I would say this, and I know some people might not like it, but I am strategically spending. I focus my money mostly on black owned businesses because for me, it's important that I give to my community.
Yes.
And so it's like I tell you, I'm very strategic now. Like when I go to a store, I'm looking at product. Okay, is there a black owned business? It's like restaurants I'm going to, I'm like, is it black owned?
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm doing. And so you being a black man, you being from Africa, you being from Liberia, it's important. Everything. So I can tell you, I'm going to be a client now because every soap that I use, everything comes strictly from Liberia.
Wow.
There's this company called J Palmer. I actually had the guy on the show.
Okay. Yeah.
He runs his own. He does his own thing. Does his own cosmetics. So it is processed, manufactured, produced, everything in Liberia.
Wow.
I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And so talking about this, I want to talk to you about marketing.
Okay.
So how do you market your business, and how are people becoming aware of your business?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. That is something that is evolving, right? I'm primarily using Instagram as my tool to just get that brand awareness out there. But beyond that, I think it's more important to cultivate community, right? And I think that that's something that you're learning and you're doing very well here with the conversation. So it's a lot of focus on my social media strategy is more focused on cultivating that community, right? And I want to even take it outside of Instagram a bit, so that I'm cultivating even off of social media. So that's something that's in the work for this year. But I'm also doing advertisements. So I've just started using some paid ads. I'm using Pinterest as one, Google ads, right? So I'm really nascent with that. And then also email marketing. So I'm trying to scale and automate my email marketing as well. So email is, I think, probably one of the it's in terms of just return of investment. I think that email is often underestimated in what it can do, and so that's someplace I'm really looking to invest more to, like I said, cultivate that community and build a relationship, and so it's not transactional, right, with the people that I'm that are my customers. And one thing that I have done is I've created, for example, a subscription service now. Yeah, so people every month, they can get their soap, 2 bars of soap, their favorite. They can pick which ones they want, and auto charges, and I send it to them on a monthly basis. So, yes.
Okay, I'm a little bit offended because I don't think I knew about this subscription business. I think I did get an email.
I think I texted you.
I got a text and I got an email about it, but I did not know there was a subscription. So after this show, I'm going to subscribe to my monthly supply of soap.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's a great deal. It's a great deal.
I want to subscribe to get some soap. I need soap. Like, what's going on here? We got to let me take a shower and look shiny like you over there. What's wrong with you? But and I don't know, but if there are a lot of people who do watch the show, and they last year I partnered with, it's the Anne Arundel County Diaspora organization.
Yeah,
but they do have it's like an African showcase. They have it's going to be in September.
Okay,
it's going to be in September, and I hosted it last year, but I'm not going to be able to host it this year. But I'm going to get you in contact with the people. You actually know them.
Okay,
get you in contact with them, and so you can go there and so it's like a trade show where people have their products, people buy it, but everything is focused on Africans.
Okay, got you.
Like everybody who African products and stuff like that. I did mine. Actually, my Pure Poverty drive there last year.
Okay. All right.
Donations there as well. But yeah, and I think it's a great way for people to know you and stuff like that. And I think the story behind the product is extremely important and it's
Yeah.
a good selling point. That's just me. I just think about how I'm gonna make this money. And I just know
Absolutely.
that we're gonna use that story and make good money. I'm just saying, use the story, make the money, and that's how it can work. But MV Soap is just over a year,
Yeah.
right? And you, I believe, for me personally, I feel that you have done amazing. I mean, like I said, your website, you're talking about subscription and all that kind of stuff. A lot of people don't, they're not thinking about that. They're not thinking about, because for me, I look at that's residual income. That is like you are guaranteed a specific amount every month.
Yeah.
So I think it's like people don't look at that, and so I
Yeah.
think that's really important. But how do you see your business in the next year, 5 years, 10 years? What should we expect for MVSoap?
Yeah. So one thing for sure. So much has happened already, right? Like
Uh-huh.
I told you about, our partnership with the Confess Project. We actually signed a memorandum of understanding,
Oh
right?
wow, that's
So
great.
we have this relationship with a national movement. And so that's something that was really great to have happened this year. So I see that partnership scaling, right? Because really, again, the heart of this brand, this is a heart forward brand to black make black men their lives better, help them to be whole. And I think as we create a culture of self-care and mental health, we can help to extend the life expectancy for black men and boys, right? And so that's something that is dear to my heart. So this year is cultivating more community
Okay.
around that, right? And so building a community, that's like my number one thing this year, is to facilitate more of that. So that's it, this year one. 5 years, I want for us to be a nationally recognized brand. I think that people just knowing about MB Soaps and what we can do and what we've been doing, and our focus on the community, I want for that to be something that everyone in the nation knows about, right? And also to have different product lines. So even though we're starting just with the soaps, we definitely want to expand into other product lines, getting to more advanced skincare as well.
Yeah.
So that's something that I'm definitely thinking about. And you said 10 years, right?
Yeah, 10 years.
In 10 years, yes. That's a great question. I have no idea. It's a great question, though.
I understand. Yeah, but I think I know for me as a consumer, I haven't started using their products yet, but these are the things that I would like to see. I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
I would like to see some beer oil. I would like to see
Mhm.
specific lotions for us men who have really bad eczema. I would
Yeah.
like to see for us who some of us who have dreadlocks, natural hair products that
Yeah.
we can use in our natural hair. Because I
Mhm.
think what happens is being a lot of the products on the market are for women, they
Yeah.
have a smell.
Yeah.
There
Exactly.
they have this, and for me personally, I don't like smelly stuff. I like natural, non-scented everything. So
Yes.
like, a lot of people say you're so weird. Why? I'm like, no, I don't like to be smelling like flower and then bees come on you and stuff like that. Yeah, that's a whole different avenue when it comes to me. I understand. Like you should see me. Like I was fighting with the other girl who runs her own business. I'm like, I want that because they don't have a lot of smell, and that's the one I want. So I think I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just throwing it
Yeah.
out
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
there. Who we I'm learning now how to to like wash my face before I go to sleep. If I take
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff, I shouldn't use the same towel that I use my face to put on my skin because I break up a lot.
Yes.
The dermatologist told me all the different things to do. And so now as I'm getting into this stuff, I'm like, okay, so I see, men, we can have our own cosmetics and own stuff. There ain't
Yeah.
nothing wrong with it. People get out of here. I ain't got time for all of y'all. All right, to look good. We all, they say black don't crack, right? I all this
Exactly.
what's his name? Who spent 2 million on his products for his face?
I don't know.
It's what's the one? He looks extremely young. Is it Pharrell?
Oh yeah, it is Pharrell.
It's
Yeah.
Pharrell, yeah.
Yeah.
He spent like $2 million every year on regimen for his face. Like, are you kidding me?
It's insane. It
Sir,
is
no.
insane. Yes.
No, no,
Yeah.
no. I
Yeah.
ain't there yet. Maybe when I get there, then I might do it. I don't know. But hey, But that's what I'm just saying. So I did feel like,
Yeah.
MV Soaps is here. It's going to do great things. I think there's so many things. So, just putting my 2 cents out there. Beer oil would be, really be nice.
Okay.
Beer oil.
All
Really
right.
like beer oil. Just
Yeah.
putting it out there. Beer oil. Just, for us, trying to, you know, do some things for, you can get some. I need shares in this business. I'm going to tell you. These guys who do that when you go to the barber, I know,
Yeah.
you got the ball, but it's
Mhm.
spray to give you a good lineup.
Yep.
A
Yep.
lot of us can do it because, like, the way my skin are dark, the shades aren't good for my shades. So,
Okay. All right. Well, let me
I,
just put that down right now.
yeah, you see, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And this right here is what I think. This is why I say it's extremely important for Black people to support each other. Because when I go to the store to buy stuff for my skin and stuff like that, I'm like, that don't work for me. But no, that's like, I'm sorry to say, but that's for another race. That's not for me.
Yeah.
And so I'd be so excited when I see people of my color creating products for my color, because it makes sense, because no one can tell your story better than you.
Exactly.
So, we talk about that, but I definitely believe that, I've talked to a lot of, I've had a lot of people on my platform who, they're business owners, they're running 4 or 5 different businesses and stuff like that. And, you have your family, you have your regular 9 to 5, you're running MV Soaps. But I want to ask you, who are your mentors when it comes to the business? Like, who do you get advice from?
Yeah, I've had several mentors, to be honest with you. And I'm part of a community, an online community called Moguls Connect. So
Okay.
anybody that is an entrepreneur and they're looking to just get plugged into a community, I mean, these people are amazing. And so there's a lot of just knowledge sharing. They have masterminds. I'm a part of their Discord group. They have a clubhouse, room, and they're constantly just sharing, and everyone's trying to grow and learn. So I feel like I learned a lot through that community. Have invested in some business coaches like Brendan Boyd.
Yeah.
Is one guy that I've worked with, absolutely phenomenal. He's helped me to just kind of think outside the box and really emphasize and double down on the whole community building. So that's one person. I also had a social media coach that also helped me out with some stuff as well. So I'd say no like specific person, but just being a part of a community of entrepreneurs has really helped me to grow a lot and to learn every single day, because entrepreneurship honestly is more about personal development than it is about anything. It's like getting over your fear of failure and doing things that are that are new and different, getting outside of your comfort zone. That's really what entrepreneurship is mostly about. And so being a part of a community where everyone is challenging one another, that's been invaluable for me.
So, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, I know for me, when I started this platform, there were times where I was a little bit hesitant about moving forward. And
Mm-hmm.
so I want to ask you, a little bit over a year, how many times have you tried to quit?
Man, I mean, the thought comes up regularly. You know what I mean? It's like, man, this is really hard. It is just difficult. And it's all mindset, EJ. Like, it is all mindset. And it's crazy how much you can like get in your own way and start to self-sabotage.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. And so that's something that I think for all of us entrepreneurs, there are always new levels, right? And either you embrace that new level for that growth, or you're just gonna kind of shrink back, and you're gonna be kicking yourself in the butt because, like, man, I didn't take advantage of this opportunity at this time to just move forward, right? But the fact that MV Soaps is beyond just selling luxury soaps, and it's really about empowering Black men and helping them to show up whole in the world,
Mhm.
that motivates me every single day.
And so you talked, I was a follow up question, and now I just lost my train of thought because now I'm thinking about something else. But when I have this issue, I won't say I have this issue. I think it's a problem for me when I am trying to reach out to people, and I want to take this to another level, and then people have their own ideas and they want to tell you to do this, do that, and do the other, and I'm like, No, I know why I created this. It's for
Yeah.
this purpose. So what you're telling me is not what I want to do. But in the back of my mind, I still feel like, I could really, because some people come, they want to party, they got some little cushion to help you up. So have you ever experienced that where, there are people who see and be like, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? I can invest in the business and we can do this, we can do that. And you're like, no, it's okay.
A million percent. I mean, it's like every other day. And you just have to remember that you have the vision. You know the future that you're trying to create, and no one knows it better than you. That's not to say that you can't learn and you shouldn't have an open mind.
Yeah.
And I use tools like Trello. I don't know if you heard of Trello before.
Yeah, Trello.
Yeah. So I use like the Kanban board, and I literally have a list that just says defer. Like I'll write down an idea and I'll just defer it to a time that makes sense for me to maybe explore it further. So just because people are giving you a lot of ideas doesn't mean those ideas are bad, but you need to be able to move forward. Like you have to make decisions quickly. And if people are giving you analysis, you're in analysis process because you're considering all these ideas, you need to cut that out because it'll halt you. It will stop you.
I think for me, it stressed me out.
Yeah.
When I shut them down, I'm like, I ain't talking to this person. I don't want to talk to this person because they're just going to annoy me. Because I'm like, no, that's not what it's like. Oh, you need to be talking about gossips. And I'm like, no, I ain't going to be tearing nobody down. Not in my area. That's not what I wanted to do this. But that's what's selling. That's what people fine. Trust me. The 5 people that I religiously watch it, my 100% followers and who watch this on a regular weekly basis, I'm fine with them.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's what it is. And I like when you talk about it's the authenticity of what you're doing in these soaps. What is it for? Why we're doing this? The importance of this. And so I think I'm gonna put it in a different context where I listened to this Nigerian lady. She's a preacher. Her husband passed away. She took over the church. But anyway, she said that when God gave you your vision, He didn't give it to nobody else. So when you go to other people to tell people your vision and you get upset because they're not understanding it, it's your problem.
Yeah.
God didn't give your vision to them. He gave it to you.
Yeah.
So when you take that vision and go try to explain them and they don't understand and you get so frustrated, and it's because you decided to take it to somebody else who it's not their vision.
Exactly.
So they don't understand it. And so I think for me, that has helped me because when I meet people who want to do something and I explain to them and they say they don't get it, I'm like, oh, it's okay, no problem. Because I get it. Like, I get it.
Yep, you get it. And the people that, like you said, the people that are following, the people that are part of your community, they get it. And that's all that matters.
Yeah, and when you don't get it, and then you want to tell me how I need to change, I'm like, okay, no, sir, we're not going to do this. But you better stress me out. But social media has played, I think, over the last couple of years, social media has played an important role. And I mean, when the pandemic happened, all went lockdown and stuff, I think social media and people businesses, I think this is where entrepreneurs bloomed. I mean, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, whatever, all these things have happened. And so I want to ask you, what's the percentage of MVSoap? How much advantage are you taking when it comes to percentage-wise of social media? What's that of social media?
Are you talking about like in the form of revenue? Like how much revenue?
No, like
percentage of revenue or?
So let me break it. So Instagram.
Yeah.
How much advantage are you taking from Instagram being free and you can just use it to market your business?
Yeah, I mean, like 100%. Like, and they're always developing new features as well, right? And so they really want to make it easier for people to create content and to connect with their communities, right? And I think something that happened as a result of this pandemic is that I think it highlighted the need for people to want to be in community even more. So I think it's even accelerated like people using and leveraging social media to build relationships, right? Like you talked a little bit about the story of MVSoaps, right? It's like people can connect with this story as they connect with me, right? They connect with my person, they connect with my personality, they see the passion and the authenticity behind what I'm really trying to bring to the market, right? And it's funny that you bring that up is because when I decided to launch this business, initially I wanted to be a faceless brand. And that just doesn't work. It does not work. I was like, oh, this logo is really nice. People are gonna see the logo and they're gonna be like, ooh, luxury. People don't care about that. They want to see you. They want to see you. They want to see you telling your story. They want to hear your voice. They want to experience you. And so, social media has been so important in establishing that connection with my community. And I'm so grateful for the people that support me. Like it's honest. I'm sure you feel this way sometimes. It's like mind blowing that it's like you put, God give you this vision, you put it out into the world, and there are people that are like, wow, I mean, they just catch on, right? And I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah, and you talked about face. As you can see, my face is my logo.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was thinking about it, I just want to have the conversation. Outspoken Opinionated.
Yeah.
And I was reading something online, and it was like, no, everybody identify with the brand based on the face of the brand.
Yes.
Your people who are going to follow you are going to follow your brand because they see you.
Yes.
If we just put it out, they're gonna be like, "Oh, he's just on a show. He was in a show."
Yeah.
But it becomes your show. It's your face. I was like, my face. Then I never liked my voice. I never. If I play my voice back and listen to it, I hated it.
Wow.
Am I 100% okay with it? No, I'm still getting there.
Yeah.
I'm still getting used to hearing myself, but I never liked it. You know who helped me to like my voice?
Who?
You probably don't know. Henry Teach.
Wow.
Henry Teach always wanted me to record stuff.
Wow.
I'm like, why does he said, no, you're good at this. I'm like, why this man stressing my life out? Every little recording, Henry gonna call. I'm like, son, leave me alone. And I think he probably never knew it, and probably I didn't really take into it, but I realized that those were the moments that prepared me for this.
Yeah.
Those little clippings that I did, little things for Bishop Johnson going to this country. Okay, you do the announcement so we can ship it over, and you do that.
Yeah.
Why me? Like, and you always say, "Oh, that was good, one take." Like I'm telling you, I didn't. There are people who will do that 5 seconds recording. No, I did it on one take. I go in, I say what I have to say, I get out. And so I think those things prepared me for this. And so and that's what I'm saying. I think it's social media has really, and for me, I look at it in the sense where I feel like social media has given us basic free marketing platform.
Yes.
If you're not utilizing the social media, if you don't have, and this is what I say to a lot of business owners, if you aren't good with social media, pay somebody to do it.
Yeah.
These kids who are in high school and college, bro, they can take your business to another level on social media. I'm like, what in the world? You know, there are specific times that you're supposed to post.
Yeah.
Okay, I can keep up with that. But I'm
I post at those times, but I know that there's.
Like I'll just post, and I'm like, shoot, and my niece will help me. She's like, no, you're not supposed to post that. You're not supposed to do that. And then I'm like, okay, God, it's not the deep. But I think but I'm getting it too. Because I realized, okay, like you said, like MVSoap is a luxury brand.
Yes.
So everything has to come with excellence.
Yes.
You have to provide us with this. So that's why when we see you, we're like, oh, okay, I know this is gonna be serious. There ain't no joke behind this. It's like, you don't play. Like, you don't play. And so I think, like, I'm glad that you decided to be the face of the brand.
Yeah. It was actually my social media consultant. Her name is Teresa. Amazing person. And I actually connected to her through this community I was telling you about. She was on a live and she was doing this 4-week intensive at the end of last year. And I was like, let me do that intensive. And she kicked me in the butt. She's like, what do you mean you're not going to show your face? And she like redid my logo. So now my picture is in there, right? On Instagram, at least.
Yeah.
So, it's approachable. It's more personable and it draws people in.
And I think, so how do you balance this? Because I think people need to know that you're a dad of 2.
Yeah.
You have an amazing wife.
Yes.
You have this business. And then we are also Africans. So there are so many other things that we do. Mom might just call and say, I need you to come and go do this. It's like, okay. Like, woman, can you do stuff for yourself? Like, you have your sister. Like, you have a family. And so there's so many other things that come with not just being a king. There are other responsibilities. And so how do you balance this?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm still learning, to be honest with you, EJ. And I've actually I'm in therapy right now, and so this is something I'm working through with my therapist as well, is just kind of shutting things off, because I haven't really been that good at balancing it, to be completely honest, to be completely transparent. Because it's just a lot. And I'm one of those people that I just want to do everything in one sitting. If I have an idea, I just want to I just want to complete it. It's a full-on project that I probably need like at least a week incrementally to work on the thing. I just want to do it in one sitting. So, it's something that I'm still working on. But one thing I do know I need to do, and I would encourage every entrepreneur to do, is to guard your time. Just guard your time. And make sure you have time for some self-care as well, because it's not easy.
No, it's a beast
A
out
lot
here.
of work. Yes.
So I want to ask you, because I told the people I know you personally.
Yep.
So when did you start saying no?
When I start saying no.
Because I think when you have all these things, you realize that you can't do all these things, so you start to say no. When let me say it this way: when did you get comfortable to say no?
I would say, honestly, shortly after I started this business, to be honest. Yeah, it hasn't really been that long. You know how we were at Bethel. Like, I was doing 5, 6, 7 different things.
Yeah.
I was in every other ministry.
It was Akin.
The same people, so we've moved to Frederick, Maryland, so we're not really plugged into the same kind of communities that we were before. So that's given us an opportunity to kind of step back. Okay. Right. And I think just as a family, we're resetting, and I'm not jumping into things as I used to. Right. I'm trying to be a lot more intentional, because I want to be able to give my best. If I'm going to say I'm going to do something, I want to be able to show up. I want to give my best. And I'm being a lot more intentional about that. It's helped to, be in a new environment, build new relationships, right, with people, and like set those boundaries for myself. But the business is definitely, it's helping, because it's a lot of work. So I need to make sure I guard the time for this.
I like that you said that, and I think setting boundaries is also important. And I know for me, it's like everybody know I ain't doing nothing on Thursday. Yeah. Sorry, I ain't doing nothing on Thursday. It ain't happening. I can't do it. And so if anybody want to do something, they got to be after 8 o'clock.
Yeah. Yep.
Because that ain't gonna work.
Yep.
So I think once we started, and I will ask you, once we started setting these boundaries, did your circle decrease? Oh
yeah. Definitely. I'm still cordial with people naturally, but there are a lot of people that feel entitled to your time. Right. And you just got to realize that you can't be there. You can't be everything for everybody. And I think I naturally like to please. Like, that's just my inclination. I like to please. And so, yeah, it's definitely dwindled down. People have been very upset with me, but I gotta take care of me. I really do.
And I don't know if it's the same thing for you, but I think when you are in the process of finding you, you realize that a lot of people who thought they knew you have a problem with it.
Yes.
Because now they realize that, that was ready, because I was ready, not me.
Yeah.
Because you wanted to be doing everything and doing all this. No, it wasn't really me. Just because I wanted everybody to be okay. Yeah. I didn't want people to feel bad. If you want me to come to this event, I will come. Even though I'm really tired, but I was so calm because I knew if I don't come, you'll feel bad. But now if I can't make it, I show up. Life's so cold. Nobody's going to die. And so I feel it's extremely important. And for you, who as a business owner, you as a being an entrepreneur, you're a dad. Also, you have young Black men that you have to there has to be some sort of example for them to follow after.
Yeah.
I know we all focus on the spiritual aspect and the spirit and Jesus, the whole thing. But I
Yeah.
feel for me, I don't know. Of course I have a 9-year-old, and I think for me, he watches more what I do. But every time I tell him to not do something, he said, "But Daddy, you can do it." So then I have to let him know that, but I'm an adult.
Yeah.
I can do this, but you can't. And I
Right.
think that's what the kids look at. The whole thing about, and I'm not saying, I don't want anybody to take it out of context. I'm not saying, the whole spiritual aspect is not good. It's good too, but we also have to have balance.
Yes.
Because that's what the kids really look at. Okay, when Daddy said the day I'm in punishment, is he going to keep me in punishment?
Yeah.
Because if Daddy take me out of punishment, I'm going to do some bad, but Daddy not going to always keep me in punishment.
Yep.
You know
Yep.
what I'm
Yep.
saying?
They need that. They need that consistency, and that consistency requires presence,
Exactly.
being present, and that's another thing with balancing all this is making sure that I'm a very present father. I want to be a present father. I want my kids to have an even better upbringing than I did. In that sense. So no, 100%, 1,000% agree with that.
Yeah, and I think for us who have boys, I think, and then as the guys, as these little men grow up, they find their own personality. And like my son, now he's into football. And I
Yeah.
told myself, I said, "Oh my God, if I was still singing, there
Yeah.
was no way I could have done this."
Yeah.
No, if we have practice 3 days a week, we have game on Saturdays. On Sunday, we got to go to training.
Yeah.
There is no.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly.
So I'm gonna tell my son, we're not going.
Yeah.
No, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna fly. So I feel it's like, I'm so glad a lot of us have come to the place to realize that we have to have balance in our lives.
Yes.
And we are still, and before we end, I would say this: God is not going to love me less because I'm taking my son to football training on Sundays.
Amen.
And I'm live streaming service while we're driving.
Yep.
I don't think he's gonna love me less, and he's not gonna love anybody else more or love them less because they deprive the kids from not going to football training and go to church.
Exactly.
Like, I don't think that's in people. That's my personal opinion. That is the God that I know, the God that I serve, and the God that I follow. I don't believe he's gonna do that to me because he created me in his image.
Yep.
He said he knew me before I was even formed in my mother's womb. So everything that I was going to do, he already knew. So he can't hold, how you gonna hold me against when he already knew I was going to do this?
Wow.
But we'll leave that for another day.
I see you're pushing better than we listen to.
I said, I'm gonna leave this for another day. But CEO of MVSoap, I want to ask you, for people who are watching, for someone who want to start their business or who want to do something, they haven't really gotten to do it. What can you leave with somebody today who say, I really want to start my business, but I don't know what to do?
I'd say just don't undermine the gift that God has given you. You have a gift.
Mm-hmm.
Believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. Believe that you can do it and do it. Focus on that execution, honestly, because that's really what it's about. If you've been thinking about this idea, this business for years and years and years, and you haven't even made one step towards realizing that vision, you're depriving the world of something amazing. That's the way I view it. I feel like you have something, you as you live out your purpose, you have something to give to the world that God has given you. And if you don't act on it, you're depriving the world, you're depriving us. And that's not meant to be a guilt thing. It's not meant to be a guilt thing, but really just for you to believe in yourself, believe that what you have is in fact that special.
Well, people, this was the Akin Walker. He's the CEO of MVSoaps. If you guys want to follow him, it's on Instagram, MVSoaps. I believe they're on Facebook as well.
On Facebook as well. Yep.
MVSoaps, and the website is mvsoaps.com.
That's MVSoaps.co.
MVSoaps.co. And for people who are watching, there is a subscription package. Father's Day is coming up, women. Go there and subscribe for your husband. Get him some luxury soaps. MVSoaps.co. Go and subscribe to MVSoaps. But I say thank you so much for honoring the invitation, for being here with us, giving us all this knowledge. I salute this brand. I say thank you for being a strong Black man who's setting so many examples for our younger people to follow, for even us who are here and we're just trying to fit in this world, and you're making it easy so we can look good. Because we all want to look good. Since said black don't crack.
Thank you, brother. Thanks for having me, man. This has been amazing.
But we say thank you for being here with us, and we hope to see you back another time where we can have a real good conversation with the products. Oh yeah, do you have a picture?
Yeah. Here, I have some. Yeah, I'll close out.
Yeah.
Yes, this is what the soap looks like, right? In the
Okay.
packaging, at least. So this is our bestseller. It's the black tea. It's a bit of a musky scent.
Okay.
All of our soaps say we use a coconut oil base, so it's antibacterial. It's also great for conditioning. Apricot kernel oil, which is great for toning your skin, evening your skin tone, right? And we also use shea butter, great for moisturizing, hemp seed oil, castor oil, a lot of oils that we're familiar with in our community. And I'll just go ahead and open this up. And so the bars are 3.9 ounces,
Okay.
right? One thing that you're going to experience with it is it's as you're holding it and you get it a little bit wet, is it's very bubbly, very creamy. I wanted for that part to really feel luxurious, right? Not like the other bars, like you get the Irish Spring and it's all filmy and it's abrasive in ways that's not very nice. So it's going to be very smooth to the touch, creamy to the touch. It smells amazing. So if you are looking to get started with our brand, I always recommend the black tea. People love this soap.
Okay.
We also have two other variations of the same formula. Our citrus, which is kind of like a floral scent, a little fruitier. And then we have an unscented bar, and we'll be coming out with a fresh scent soon. I'm working on that right now. So, yep.
Okay, and we just you can just add to the package shoot the scrubbers. Maybe you can just start creating your own scrubber for me.
Exactly.
My people are gonna reach out to your people, and we're gonna sign the whole contract because my intellectual property.
Let's make it happen.
I know, but thank you so much. Akin, thank you for being here. I always tell my guests, I say, you see, I tell you guys it's 60 minutes, but we're done. And so thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. I say thank you so much for what you're doing, and my love to wifey and the boys as well.
Thank you, EJ. Same to your boy. Give your boy a hug for me.
I will do that.
All right. Bye.
Well, guys, of course, I told you guys it was going to be an amazing conversation. And Akin Walker is a super, super dad. He's an an amazing businessman. And you guys, if you aren't in tune with men soap, we're asking you to go to MVSoaps.co. Subscribe. Father's Day is coming up. We're asking the ladies, go and get some soap for your man. There are so many other things, like he said, that other things are coming up that we can do. Follow MV Soaps on Instagram. You can also go on Facebook and like them. You can go online again to MVSoaps.co and subscribe. This has been the conversation, of course, Outspoken Opinionated. I am your host, Edwin Maya. Again, we are on Facebook, the conversation Outspoken Opinionated. Instagram is Outspoken Opinionated. We're also on guys, we are on Spotify. Go download the podcast. Go to Apple Podcasts and download us. But this has been an amazing Thursday, and I see you guys next week with another great show. You guys all have an amazing Thursday, and I see you